Everyone, my name is Stephanie Furnari, and this is my personal attitude speech. I believe that children need to be disciplined at a young age. I would like to think that we would all want our children or future children to become responsible, productive adults. For this to happen, it all starts at the beginning of a child's development. They learn from the people who raise them. That is why it is extremely important to show children discipline. Children start learning right from wrong at a young age. That is, if they are taught right from wrong. All children are going to misbehave at some point in their lives. It is how a parent or caregiver handles that behavior that is going to shape who they become in the future. There are different ways to discipline children. Some people still believe in the spanking method, which is the oldest discipline method that has been around for years. Others believe in using techniques such as the timeout method. Each parent has their own individual way of disciplining their own children. Disciplining children doesn't always mean punishment either. Children need to have set boundaries and rules. They need to know what is expected of them. This will give them an outline as to what they should and shouldn't be doing. If they don't know what they should and shouldn't be doing, they won't know that it's wrong. Without set boundaries, children will do whatever they want. This will definitely affect them negatively, even in their current life and later in life. When using discipline, parents still need to make sure that their children know they are loved unconditionally. And just because they made a mistake or did something wrong doesn't mean they are unloved. Even though it may be hard for children to understand at such a young age that the parent is giving them hard love, they will definitely be grateful for this later in life. As a parent myself to an 8-year-old little girl, I try to take pointers from other parents, whether good or bad. I try to watch family members or friends of mine who are parents. I see what works for some and what doesn't work for others. Finding middle ground with discipline seems to be the key. When a parent is too harsh or controlling to their child, it pushes the child away from them. The child then ends up growing anger towards that parent. This is a very bad thing to happen. Also, if a parent is a pushover, the child is going to have no respect for them and not listen to anything they say. This is another huge concern. I've witnessed parents of both kinds throughout my life. That is why with my daughter, her dad and I try to find ways of disciplining her that make her understand what she did wrong and how not to do it again in the future. We will sometimes take privileges away from her, such as her iPad that she likes to use for certain periods of time, sometimes for an hour, sometimes for a few days, depending on what kind of behavior she had. This seems to be very effective for her. However, we have also been disciplining her since she was very little. We would use techniques such as the timeout technique when she was a toddler and misbehaved. And she also has been taught manners, which I think is a huge part of disciplining children. She knows when to say please and when to say thank you. I am by no means saying that she is a perfect child or that we are perfect parents. However, from using discipline since she was a toddler, you can see the difference in her compared to some kids that I can tell have not been disciplined as a small child. It can definitely be a hard job as a parent to discipline children. However, it is a very important factor in children growing up to be good, productive citizens in today's world. As adults, we carry what we learned as children with us forever, whether it's good or bad. That is why it is so very important for parents to start the discipline early. There is no perfect way of disciplining children. Mistakes will be made and lessons will be learned. However, as long as parents try to do their best and do it with all their love in their heart, the children will appreciate it as adults.